didn't just walk into the music industry, he broke down its doors, rewrote its rules, and made himself the center of every room he entered. His name, Sean Combs. But the world would come to know him by many names. Puff Daddy, P-diddy, Diddy, mogul, billionaire, icon. To millions, he is the symbol of ambition fulfilled. A man who rose from Harlem streets to the top of Forbes lists. He sold a dream to the world, that anything was possible if you hustled hard enough, if you wanted it bad enough. His empire stretched far beyond music, fashion, liquor, television, branding, influence. He wasn't just part of hip-hop culture, he shaped it. But fame is never just about lights and applause. Behind the diamond chains and champagne bottles, behind the parties that ran until sunrise, there were shadows, whispers of violence, rumors of manipulation, tragedies that struck close to him, but never seemed to stick. People asked questions. Some stayed quiet, others disappeared into the noise of his success. The story of Sean Combs is not just about music, it is about power, the kind of power that dazzles, but also consumes. It is about how one man's rise built an empire of wealth and influence, while surrounding him with mysteries that refused to fade. And as the years passed, the rumors grew darker. Deals in the back rooms, feuds that turned bloody, lives that ended too soon. Each step he took upward seemed to cast a longer shadow behind him. Tonight we pull back the curtain. Tonight we walk into the glittering world of Diddy, not to celebrate, but to uncover. Not to dance to the music, but to listen to the silence between the beats. Because sometimes the truth hides there, in the places no one dares to look. This is not just the story of a superstar. This is a story of survival, of ambition, of hunger so powerful it could build an empire or destroy everything in its path. Stay with us, because what you are about to hear will change the way you see Sean P. Diddy Combs forever. Chapter 1. The shadow behind the spotlight. The lights are blinding. The music is deafening. A man stands at the center of it all. His name is known across the world. Sean Combs, Puff Daddy, P-diddy, Diddy. The nicknames change, but the empire remains. He is the self-made mogul, the man who turned hip-hop into a global business, who built artists into legends and himself into an icon. But behind the glitz, behind the glossy magazine covers and champagne-filled parties, there has always been a shadow, a darkness lurking, whispered about in hushed tones, written in lawsuits, spoken of by those who dared to break the silence. Chapter 2. Harlem Nights. Sean John Combs was born on November 4th, 1969 in Harlem, New York. His father, Melvin, had ties to the drug trade and was shot dead when Sean was only 2 years old. His mother, Janice, worked multiple jobs to raise her children alone. The young boy grew up in a world where survival meant ambition, and ambition meant never showing weakness. Even in high school, Sean was already hustling. He danced, he played football, he organized parties. He was restless, always moving, always plotting. Howard University in Washington, D.C. was supposed to be his path to success. But Sean had other plans. He dropped out, chasing a bigger dream, the music industry. It was not long before he landed an internship at Uptown Records in New York. He became known for his sharp eye for talent and his unstoppable drive. But Sean wasn't just an employee. He was already imagining himself as a king. Chapter 3. The Birth of Bad Boy. In 1993, Sean Combs was fired from Uptown Records, but failure only fueled him. That same year, he founded his own label, Bad Boy Records. What followed was a cultural explosion. Sean discovered and built artists who would dominate hip-hop and R&B. Craig Mack, 112, Faith Evans, and most importantly, Christopher Wallace, better known as the Notorious B.I.G. With Biggie's success, Bad Boy Records became untouchable. Diddy himself stepped into the spotlight with his flashy style, his signature dance moves, his unforgettable ad-libs. Hip-hop was no longer just music. It was fashion, lifestyle, empire. But with every empire comes enemies. Rivalries brewed, and soon tragedy would change everything. Chapter 4. Death of a Friend, Birth of a Legend. On March 9, 1997, gunshots echoed in Los Angeles. The Notorious B.I.G., Sean's friend and star, was gunned down in a drive-by shooting. The loss shattered Sean, but it also cemented his place in history. He released I'll Be Missing You, a tribute that topped charts worldwide. His debut album, No Way Out, became a cultural milestone. But grief mixed with ambition created a dangerous cocktail. Sean Combs was no longer just a producer. He was a superstar. He was Puff Daddy. He was invincible, or so he thought. But power also attracts chaos. In 1999, a nightclub shooting in New York placed him at the center of scandal. Shots were fired. People were injured. Diddy was arrested alongside his then-girlfriend, Jennifer Lopez. Though he was acquitted of the charges, the trial marked the beginning of a pattern. Trouble followed him, or perhaps he carried it with him wherever he went. The tabloids painted him as untouchable, but in the whispers of the industry, a darker picture formed. Stories of intimidation, of manipulation, of young artists chewed up and discarded, and yet the empire grew. Diddy Sean Combs was more than music. He launched Sean John, a clothing line that won awards and defined early 2000s street fashion. He entered television with Making the Band. He endorsed Ciroc vodka and turned it into a billion-dollar brand. Everywhere you looked, Diddy was there. At award shows, on reality TV, in fashion campaigns. He was more than a man, he was a brand. But brands can hide the truth. And behind the brand, behind the bravado, rumors of abuse, control, and predatory behavior grew louder. For years, they were ignored, suppressed, paid off, until they could no longer be contained. In 2023, the first public cracks shattered Diddy's image. Singer Cassie Ventura, who had been in a long-term relationship with him, filed a lawsuit accusing him of years of abuse, coercion, and violence. The lawsuit was settled quickly, within just one day, but the silence had been broken. One by one, more lawsuits emerged. Allegations of sexual assault, of trafficking, of manipulation that spanned decades. Former employees, women from the industry, even business associates came forward. The empire that had seemed bulletproof was suddenly under siege. The whispers became investigations. In 2024, federal authorities raided Diddy's homes in Los Angeles and Miami. What they found and what they claimed shook the world of entertainment. He was accused of orchestrating a network of abuse, of using his power to exploit, of trafficking women across state lines for sex. The mogul who had once been untouchable was now facing the full weight of the law, and the world was watching. In May 2024, Sean Combs was arrested on federal charges. The news sent shockwaves across the globe. For years, fans had idolized him. Now they watched him being led in handcuffs. The trial that followed was one of the most high-profile celebrity cases in decades. Witness after witness painted a picture of a man who used his influence not just for business, but for control, domination, and exploitation. The music world was divided. Some defended him, others distanced themselves. The industry that he had helped build was now turning its back. By mid-2025, after months of testimony, the jury delivered its decision. Sean Combs was acquitted of some of the most serious charges, but he was convicted on 2 counts of transportation to engage in prostitution. It was not the total downfall prosecutors had sought, but it was enough. The image of Diddy as an untouchable mogul was gone forever. The brand had crumbled, the empire was fractured, and the shadow behind the spotlight was finally exposed to the world. What happens when a legend falls? For decades, Diddy's story had been one of ambition, hustle, and success against the odds. He turned hip-hop into business, artists into stars, and himself into an icon. But the legacy is now poisoned. His name is no longer just associated with music and success. It is tied to allegations, convictions, and the cries of those who say they were silenced for too long. In the end, the story of Sean Combs is a warning about unchecked power, about the dangers of worshiping icons, about how fame can be both a crown and a cage. The story of P-diddy is still unfolding. His lawyers fight, his supporters argue, his critics demand justice. But one truth remains: behind every empire there are shadows, and sometimes those shadows consume everything. This was the rise and fall of Sean Diddy Combs,